Terry Jordan, kicking the tires.net. Thanks for the 5 bonus points in my fantasy
Yeah,
league. I
there you go.
appreciate that. Yeah. So in practice, you obviously were very fast, and then you go out there and get the pole. What, without saying specifics and getting the secrets, what are you guys doing to come to the track so fast off the truck?
Yeah, I don't even know where were we in practice. A second. Yeah, I thought my car drove really good on the short run. The long run, I definitely needed a little bit of help. I thought, I was behind the 45, and the 45 I thought was kind of the class of the field. So I was kind of judging myself off him, and I feel like normally when you do that, like even last week, I knew that Denny was going to be one of the guys to beat, and Blaney. So I don't know. I definitely feel like our car needs a little bit more, but yeah, our cars have just been really, really fast. They drive, relatively good, and qualifying, I feel like has always been truthfully like a strong suit of mine. Like even at SHR, I always felt like we kind of overachieved at times, and now I just finally have the car that has the capability to like actually be on the pole, so it makes my job a lot easier. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun to obviously do 3 in a row. I'd definitely trade all 3 in just for one win on Sunday, but it's definitely been nice to be able to do that. I feel like we haven't been able to really show the work from starting on pole Saturday because we haven't still been getting the stage points and things. So hopefully, tomorrow will be different.
All right. Additional questions? Do you have another? Okay.
Regarding that win on Sunday, the Toyota coming in here into Ford and Chevy's backyard getting a win would be huge. How big would that be for you, aside from just the win itself?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pride that comes in winning, here in Michigan, just because of the obviously the manufacturer stuff that goes on up here in Detroit and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely, I feel like every time you come here, especially in my past, right, like this is a huge emphasis weekend because you were in the backyard, and there's a lot of pride. I mean, this is the only track that I can even think of that has a manufacturer trophy, right? Like it's a big deal to win here from a manufacturer standpoint. So for us to come here and be on the pole is obviously a big deal. And we definitely want to, get a Toyota in victory lane tomorrow.
You mentioned the Charlotte Oval. You did follow up the pole there with the top 5 finish, but didn't quite get the stage points that you would have wanted on the front end of that. Is there anything from this stretch of intermediate races that you feel like you guys have learned that can be applied to how you guys approach tomorrow's race?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Michigan is its own unique animal. Like there's nothing else that we go to that's like this. So like Charlotte, you can kind of work your way through the field. You can still do that here, but you just get so spread out here where Charlotte you don't have that as much. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's definitely things that we can learn from all of it, right? Even Nashville last weekend, that was something that I certainly learned at the end of that stage. I think I was leading with 6 or 7 to go, and I caught Larson. I tried to lap him, and it cost me going from first to third, and that ultimately lost me even a chance to win the race because that's when I kind of started bleeding track position. So, just knowing now and now that I've been up front more, just trying to understand like how to take control of the race, but actually maintain your track position. That's something that's been a challenge, I would say, for me, just mentally. Is, at the 14 car, like, I would have to be so aggressive on restarts and make these crazy high-risk moves where I might gain 3 or 4 spots, but I might lose at 7 or 8. And I'm still doing that in this car, and I don't have to. Like, my car is good enough now. If I'm running 6th or 7th on a restart, just try to stay 6th or 7th, and over the course of the run, you're going to work your way up there. But, last week, I restarted 6th, and I tried to make a move, and I came out 10th. And, you just start bleeding track position. So I definitely feel like I've learned a lot over the last 2 weeks just starting up front, trying to understand kind of how to maintain your track position. So hopefully I can finally apply that now.
All right, we have time for one more. Dominic, go ahead.
Dominic Otto, going with the racing experts. Just based on practice or even before you hit the track, how confident were you that you could win the pole today?
I would say this is definitely the least confident I've been, going into the last 3 weeks, just because, the last 2 weeks at least, we went out super late. I think we were the 3rd or 4th last car out, which is typically an advantage. Here with us all running wide open, it's not as big of an advantage. But, I mean, I truthfully, I knew the Toyotas were going to be really good. I knew the 19 car's been good, but I did not anticipate getting the pole. Especially when we all started running wide open. Like when I saw Noah ran wide open, I thought there was no way I would be on the pole just because I think it was Vegas this year. The whole field ran wide open, and all of us were kind of like 15th at best. So I just figured with how Las Vegas had went, we were probably going to be in the same kind of boat here. But for whatever reason, the Joe Gibbs guys have done a really good job of, just being ultra aggressive and learning things. So hopefully, that'll apply tomorrow.